seat, sit back, relax, and welcome to the Kladecast. Today with me, I got my Uncle Ross. Hello.
That's weird. Are you sure I'm your uncle? You're my nephew? Okay, we'll go with that. That's cool.
Ross Sonnenberg.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We wanted to talk about your art for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just, your whole process and everything, because it's super interesting.
Thanks. What do you want to know? Like, what's the stuff you want to talk about? You just want me to...
Yeah, let's just... What is your art? What do you do for your art?
So, my latest series, what I've been doing is... they're photograms. Do you know what photograms are? So what you do is you make exposure directly on the photographic paper. You don't use a camera. You don't use, you don't enlarge a negative onto the. You just use the paper. And what I do is I lay out the paper in my my high-tech darkroom, which is my garage, and turn out the lights. And then you usually use a normal light source, but my light source is I use fireworks. So the fireworks, different kind of fireworks, I don't use M&As anymore. The ground flowers that spin and all different things, and that light creates the image, and then what you have to do after that is you have to take it and develop it after you expose it to the fireworks. And then they kind of look like galaxies to me. Like fictional galaxies.
I'll try to throw some pictures in it if you're watching it on YouTube, but the pictures are super bizarre. They're super pretty. They're super unique. Like there's
man.
Nothing like it. It's super amazing.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's I wanted to make photograms. I was really interested in that type of photo making, and the cool thing about the internet is you can go on and you research. I was looking at different artists that make different types of photograms and how to do it and what to do. But what I like to do is usually find out how to do it and then break the rules. Like, okay, let's try this and let's try that, instead of like, they say step A, step B, step C.
Yeah.
And then, so I was looking at different artists, and there was this one guy, his name's Brewer, and he did weird things where he would pour alcohol on the paper and light it on fire, coals, really weird stuff. And then I saw him he did a fuse on black and white paper, and I'm like, oh, that is freaking cool. Like, and then that just went like, I'm like, oh my God, let's try fireworks. So that's kind of the birth of what I'm doing now. And the cool thing is, like last year, the Getty had a show where they had people doing different kinds of things with photography, not just the normal. And he was there, and I actually saw the piece. It was at the Getty. So I told the guards, I'm like, look that way, and I ran, I took it, and I was gone. No, but it was cool. So I got to see the actual piece that kind of started that. Yeah.
So you do a lot of different work. Like, it's all super unique. Like, do you have like a favorite piece, and like you want to tell me how you started that?
Yeah, I brought some over. I brought a couple pieces that I just posted on Instagram, and I wanted to show them to you if you wanted to look at them. You want me to go get them, or what do you want me to do?
You want to bring them over here?
Yeah, I'll come. I'll take my headset off. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with the pieces.
Yeah.
So these are, like I said, they're one of a kind. You make the exposure on the paper, and these really long ones are a lot more difficult to do because you normally have. Look at that.
Yeah, this is super crazy. Look at that. It looks like colored metal.
The thing is this is on metallic paper, which is this special paper. I don't even know if they make it anymore. But normal paper looks that, but this has that metallic thing. And here I actually did something else, which is a new thing. After I make the photogram, which is all the color and all this stuff. I'm not near the mic. And so these rings here, what you see is I take it out afterwards, and I take it out in the sun, and I actually physically burn it with the sun.
Oh, wow.
So I'm using, this is a magnifying glass, and I put a cylinder around the thing, and I'm burning it all the way around using the sun instead of killing ants.
What was it? You probably. It may be hard to see, but there's actually a bunch of holes in it too, and that's probably from all the fireworks. Right?
Yeah. So these, I don't know if you can tell, these things. These are spinners, and sometimes I use gunpowder, and they actually physically mark the paper, which I think is kind of cool. And if I use, spinners, you can see the spin marks go right across. I've made wooden boxes, and then I put the paper in the thing, and then the spinners bounce around like a pinball. They're just like, pop, 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 pop,
yeah.
And they make different marks. So, I was going to tell you, these long ones are harder because normally you have a tray. You develop it in a tray, and you're like that. Well, these are so long that I got these plant flower boxes, and they're really long. And what you do is you roll them up, and what you do is you have to roll them in the developer. And the crazy thing about color is it's complete darkness. With black and white paper, you can use a red light, so you can kind of see what you're doing.
Yeah.
With color, you're completely blind.
Oh, wow.
So what I do is, I set out all my stuff. I got my gunpowder or my fireworks. I'll throw sand on here, which is making this marks, different kinds of things, and I'm like blind. And then I got my fireworks, and that makes the image. And then I either directly take it to the, or I'll put it back in a black thing and then set up the stuff. But like I said, you roll them in the developer. Yeah. And I'm counting. I'm like 1, 2, 3. Please God, make something good. And then you take it out of the developer and you put it in the fix. And this is all still in darkness, so I don't know if I'm going to have a piece like this or a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So you're like, and then you finally turn on the light after you put it in the fix, and sometimes you're like, and sometimes you're like, yes, that's fun.
Yeah. So Ross has a bunch of so many of these. I got a special one for my birthday. I think it was my birthday. And you actually gifted it to me. Yeah, and it was super, super cool. And it's one of a kind, only for me. There's only one type of picture.
That's a one of a kind for Mr. Blaker.
Yeah, and none of them look the same because they're all, all of them are different because they're all fireworks and they all go off in different ways, and it's super cool.
A lot of it's chance. Some of it I kind of know. Shapes and types of things.
Yeah, you'll get an idea of what it looks like.
Yeah, but the colors, I'll have no idea.
Yeah.
Because, who knows what the color of fireworks are? Who knows what, I use, different kinds of plastic, things. So it's really random, but it's cool, You never know what you're going to get, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, and you've actually been getting a lot of popularity, or your art has been growing a lot more. I've been seeing on your Instagram you've been getting your work in museums, and you've been having a lot of recent shows. So you want to tell me about that? And
it's cool. It's always good to get a little recognition. I was represented by a gallery in Seattle, and we had a big show. There's this big show called APAD in New York, and it's all these photography galleries get together, and it's a fair, and it was freaking huge. It took me literally 3 days to see everything. All these things, and that was my first time in New York. And APAD's huge, and I'm showing that my friend Dan Shepard, who was the owner of the Gallery 101, which was an amazing gallery, one of a kind pieces. It's no longer in existence now because things are hard. But he had 3 people showing, and they all, another person, all photogram artists. And like I said, it was huge. And then there was an article in a magazine called ArtNet, and they picked the top 10 they wanted to see, and I was one of the top 10.
Wow.
Which is pretty freaking cool because, like I said, it was ginormous. Yeah. And so, I got to experience New York, and I was ready to go home after 4 days because it was, it was insane. There's so many people. I mean, it's just not my bag, but it was fun to see, It's fun to do.
Yeah. As an artist, do you have any advice for someone that wants to start becoming an artist or has wanting to be in that creative field? What sort of advice you have for them?
I started out making art because I wanted to make art. And I think if you want to do it, just do it. And don't don't feel like what you're doing is not good.
Yeah.
Because that's not the thing. I mean, who's to say what is good and what isn't? I mean, it's all, everyone has a different opinion.
Yeah.
Some people will look at I have people, usually older people, and they're like, what is that? They're like, that's nothing, and you're like, that's cool. That's your, as Lebowski, that's your opinion, man.
Yeah.
So, start making art. Just do it. I do it just to feed my soul because it makes me feel better, especially now with all the crazy stuff that's going on. I'll go in my garage at night and I'll, blow some shit up, which is cool. And so, like I said, if you don't know something, go online, man. It's so freaking easy. If you want to learn to watercolor, or if you want to learn to draw, or if you just want to, what I did is get paint and just start splattering on, and that's how I started. And, whether I become famous or whether I'm selling stuff, that's all secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice and rich, we'd go out to dinner or whatever. And, but, like I said, it's mostly for me. And it's cool. I really think it's cool that you, because you like art and you like movies, and that really excites me because, it's cool to have a young guy like kind of the stuff that I liked when I was a kid. I mean, I was the kid who had friends, and then during lunch, and we could leave campus back then, we would go back to my house and we put on a VHS tape of a movie that I wanted to show them while we're eating lunch, and they still remember that. They're like, oh man, remember when we saw that movie? And so that was my kind of thing, so it's really cool that you and you're doing this, which is super creative.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. So it's awesome. You're and this is, a creativity. It's all part of, this painting or whatever. You're creating something, you're doing something, and that's awesome.
Yeah, podcasting and all that, it's a really fun creative outlet to do. I like learning about different stories, getting to hear new perspectives, like you as an artist. Like, I get to learn all this. It's fun. I'm not even the best podcaster. I have a lot of work that I need to work on, but the learning experience is fun, and just like doing it is
you just jumped in, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you're going to learn is by doing it.
Exactly.
You're not going to read, like I said, you're not going to read a book. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Stick a mic in front of your face and do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like I said, it's so easy now. You're just, I have a podcast. Well, cool.
Yeah.
And then if people like you, they like you, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and if they don't, they don't. Like right now, like I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've had constructive criticism about it. But I'm not really getting negative feedback besides a couple dislikes on YouTube. But like,
go ahead.
Or as an artist, how do you react to bad input or like people bad mouthing art?
You got to take the good with the bad. I remember I went to another photo fair, and it was in Portland. This was 15 years ago, and I was doing stuff completely different. And what you do is you bring your stuff and you sit down in front of a person. You have 15 minutes to do your spiel. And so I sat down and I did my stuff, and the guy said, "Don't quit your day job." That was the first thing, and I was like, I was like, that sucks. But now, like, I don't know if it's, wisdom or where I'm at. I'm just like, okay, you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's okay. Because, like I said, everyone has a different opinion about what is art. And so you gotta, it sucks, but you gotta just, say, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Like I said, everyone has a different opinion, and negative things you're gonna get, and you're gonna get positive stuff. So
yeah, I mean, with being creative, you kind of have to take the good with the bad, and I feel a lot of the times when you get those negative comments, those help you influence yourself to do a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you said you got constructive criticism, which is good. You just started, and maybe people who know a little bit more about this, give you, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of learning, but it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome, and you got this super high tech equipment. So
yeah, cool. I've been very blessed to have money and have
Yeah.
My parents helped me out with it.
Well, yeah.
But honestly, like, you don't need all this fancy equipment that I have.
I mean, but it's still cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I know you like movies. I love it that you like movies and we can talk about them. Like, it's so cool. What do you like about movies the most?
Well, I just love like seeing something that like is appealing to the eye, like something that like tells a story that has a deep meaning and it's visually appealing.
Okay.
Like a show that I've been really loving recently is Euphoria.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you watched that. It's
I know what it's about. I've maybe seen a little bit of it.
But yeah, it's a teen show and it's very very real about what's what's going on in real life with teens nowadays.
Yeah, you feel it's pretty.
It feels so real.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the fact that it is so real makes it somewhat hard to watch because it is so real, and it's so visually appealing because there's so many crazy cool looking lights and super cinematic shots. It's a really fun experience.
See, you're like me. You're like looking at the cinematography, and you're looking at the editing, and you're also looking at the story and the acting, which is I think really neat, because that's what I wanted to do. Actually, when I was, I was about 19 or 20, I wanted to make movies. That's what I wanted to do. And, I was actually got accepted to Art Center Design Film School, and I was about to go, and then I got sick. I have lupus, and so I had to change my priorities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but that's really cool that you do that. And I I used to drive I used to hang with I used to live with my brother and in Fullerton, and he had some friends, and I would work, and then we'd come home, and then we'd get a little high, and we'd play like 3-hour games of Risk and Yahtzee, but then we'd always watch movies. And I would drive them insane because I'm like, oh my God, did you see that tracking shot? And they're all like, shut up, man, we're trying to watch the movie. And, I'm like, oh my God, you know how they're driving in the car and they're talking. And I'm like, they're on a soundstage and they're just moving the lights around. They're like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, I always get yelled at for talking because I always love watching the behind the scenes of movies and how it works. And I'm always like, oh, well, this right here, this is what happened. Or like, oh, behind the scenes, this happened. Yeah. And I annoy some of the people when I'm watching movies, but like it makes me like so cool watching it. Yeah. Or seeing like a super complex shot in a movie and being like, how did that happen?
So do you have like a film thing at your school, or?
We have a film criticism class where we watch films and we talk about shots and metaphors, but it's not really making films. We have digital photography, we have broadcasting, but it's not anything like filmmaking, which is unfortunate.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you can do it. You got iMovie. Yeah. You got a camera. I mean, you can go out and film your friends. We used to make karate movies when we were, but here's my old man walking, 6 miles in the snow. I used to shoot stuff on film, which is 8mm film, before digital, and you're just like, oh, let's just load it up. And what you had to do is you actually had to cut the pieces of film and then tape them, and that's each shot. Yeah. Yeah. So I would have all these pieces of film, and you'd have them all marked, and then you'd have to slice them together, and then I got a video camera, and we started doing karate movies. I'll show you them. They're freaking hilarious. You'll just laugh your ass off.
Yeah, I've wanted to start making my own films, but it's hard because I really want to get like a really complex script. I want to be able to understand what I'm working with and what the shots are going to look like, what the videos are going to look like.
Are you a writer? Do you like to write the stuff too as well, or?
I feel like I'm more of the producer and cinematographer more than the writer. Although I can have some input on writing, I don't think that I would be the best writer. Okay. I
mean, that's cool. And, you have a group of friends, and then you get them together, and we're like, who's the writer? Let's get a script, and then I'll direct it because, Yeah. And that's cool. So what year are you?
I'm a junior.
So you're a junior. Do you have any, what do you want to do when you graduate, and what's your...
Well, I've been thinking about going into film and business. Yeah. But going into film school, like, there's not necessarily success or opportunity right away, and that's the hard thing with film school. Yeah. So I think I'm going to probably major in business. Or maybe further in the line, I've been getting into health. So being an EMT or doing something like that may be a good first job or good first work opportunity.
Totally. I mean, that's smart. I mean, being a creative person, you got to learn to eat a lot of ramen noodles.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. I mean, so, you know, some people make it or whatever, but it's a hard business, and and like I said, you always want to do it for you, and that's awesome. You kind of like, I have I know what I kind of want to do. I want to do this other stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity in the world to do whatever you want. But it's also just a lot of luck and a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work, and hopefully, you get a little break here and there, which is cool. I mean,
yeah. I mean, doing this, I really enjoy podcasting. All of it. It is sort of a release for me. It's a lot of work. Like, I'm definitely putting in all the hours for it, but I love doing it, and I think that like putting in the hard work and enjoying it can mean success in the future if I work hard enough.
And you have this on your resume.
Yeah.
And you're really well spoken, and which is awesome, and you can show them that you can handle the situation and talk about it, and that's really cool. Like what is the other stuff so you record the stuff, and then what's the next production thing that you have to do to get it ready to go online?
So yeah, for podcasting, so right now, like setting up all the equipment, that's the first step, and then recording it, like what we're doing right now.
Right.
Then the complicated part is the editing, because there's multiple different tracks, and so you have to edit each individual mic.
Got you. Yeah.
So everything sounds right, and then edit it all together so it looks and sounds smooth.
Yeah.
And then you post it to if you're educated enough to know how to make an RSS feed.
Yeah.
You could do that, or you do it through a podcasting hosting.
Yeah.
And that's what I do it.
Yeah.
I do it through this website called Buzzsprout, and they put it out all on for me on the internet, and they make me short clips if I want it, but I also do that on my own just to try to make my own
That's
marketing.
so cool. And you do all that work, and then it's kind of your baby, and you throw it out to the world, which is like and exciting, right?
Yeah, every single time it goes out there, it's exciting because I'm like, oh, who's looking at what I'm posting? Oh, how many listens am I getting? It's fun. But at the same time, I have to be a little bit careful not to focus so much on the numbers.
Oh, I got a different. So I do the explosion ones, but I got some different ones I wanted to show you. See if you could figure out what the light source is. Can I show you?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be back. All right, so this is not fireworks. This is something completely different, a light source. So we'll pull this one out and see if you can tell me what you think it is.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
This one? I have no idea what this is.
You gotta try to guess.
Maybe like not sparklers. That was my first guess.
No.
That kind of looks like some sort of wire. So maybe is it like Christmas lights?
Boom! You got it, dude.
Wow.
So you just lay the Christmas heat lights on. You hit it with a second or half a second. You turn it on and off, and
that's insane. The only reason I thought that was fireworks is because of the wire.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't be able to tell. There's so many super bright colors on here.
Yeah. So that's cool. You got to see it. Not a lot of people can see it, which is awesome.
Yeah, and if anyone's interested in purchasing any of your artwork, they're on sale. Not on sale, but you could buy them.
Yeah, you hit me up, and Oh, this is the one I hadn't shown you. This was like, so this is different. Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's fireworks, little fireworks, but I also use chemicals, and I paint on the paper. So.
Yeah, it's super, super unique.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. Yes. Oh, I also wanted to show you one more thing. So, you'll really like. This is cool. So, take it out. Show it. Oh, hey-oh. So, this is
a picture of you.
Yeah.
It looks like an old-timey picture.
Yeah. So, but just it's glass.
Oh, wow.
So, this is called an ambrotype. And ambrotypes and tintypes, they were first shot in like the late 1800s.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like that picture's like in a western.
They kind of look like that. So it's called, what they do is it's called collodion, and it's this weird viscous material, and they used to use it for use it for wounds in the Civil War. So they would, if you had a big old hole in your leg, they couldn't. They just
Filled up
poured
with chemicals.
Yeah, they just pour they're like, good luck, and then they pour the stuff in. But what they did and learn is they poured this collodion on the glass or tin, and that's a tin type. And then they take the glass and they put it in a solution of silver, and that makes it light sensitive. So they call it wet plate because the reason is it has to stay wet while it's in the camera, taking the exposure, taking it out.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, putting it in the chemicals. And they used to do so there's this guy, the famous man named Matthew Brady, and he did a lot of Civil War pictures.
Yeah.
And also there was a couple other guys, and they took these giant plates, these cameras, whatever the size of the picture is, the camera is. So that's an 8x10 camera. And then these other cameras that are huge. And they would take them. And so these guys, they went to Yosemite and Yellowstone. And before they were that, and they took these pictures. And they had to make these plates, and they took them on horses, and some of them would break. And when they came back to the East Coast, they showed the government, hey, I mean, this beautiful stuff is out there. And that led to national parks, which is cool. And so that's an old, and the thing is that all this stuff is coming back, all this old.
I wanted to talk about that. Nowadays, kids are starting to get into more retro, more retro stuff. I think that's kind of been a trend more recently where they start bringing back stuff, bring back all the
I just think it's a pushback of maybe, digital, everyone's taking pictures of, and, maybe slow down a little bit and because, things are a little bit more labor intensive when you're doing that stuff. And some of it looks cool. There's some really cool stuff.
Yeah. I have a whole book of couple hundred disposable camera pictures. I love taking that. And also just having the physical picture of a disposable camera is a lot different, and I feel like it's more valuable than something that's online.
It's so funny. I was when my kids were younger, I would take pictures of them with my film camera, and they're like, "Hey, Daddy, can we see it?" I'm like, "No, it doesn't work that way. We're gonna have to see it in about a week." And they're like, "Oh, that sucks." So yeah, and Polaroid just came back. They went out of business because digital put a lot of things, like all the analog stuff, some of it went out, but now it's coming back, which I think is kind of cool. Polaroid's back. It's a different company, but they're using all the films back, which is kind of cool. It's a big thing. All of my friends, we love looking at the pictures. It's almost like a rush. That's awesome.
A rush of
See, that makes me happy, man. That makes me happy because you guys, get like you said, from creative different kind of stuff. Not just, I'm gonna shoot this thing and I'm gonna, do the duck lips or whatever, and I'm gonna put it on, shoot my feet, where I'm at, or shoot pictures of my food and post them on Instagram. I think that's awesome that you guys are doing that. So
like you said, I think it's technology and all that. It moves so fast nowadays that if we have some little piece of technology that can move back and slow down, that's something we kind of need. And
I think it's so cool because I like to learn stuff. If I see something and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool, I want to learn about it and maybe do it. So I just, like I said, go online and check it out. I'm like, okay, let's do that now. So, it's cool.
Yeah. So basically, Ross, if you want to buy any of his artwork, you want to shout out something before we get off?
You can check out my Instagram. I'm so now I'm at ross.sonnenberg, which is Sonnenberg, which means sunny mountain in German. Remember that? Let me see. Ross.Sonnenberg1138, and that's my Instagram handle.
Got it. Yeah. So and if you ever want to get some of his art, anyone that's older watching, probably no one my age.
What are you talking about, man?
No one my age will probably want to buy art, but I know a lot of their parents might want to buy it because it's super cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And he's in a bunch of different museums, right?
Well, I got a piece accepted into a museum just recently, so that was really cool. Yeah.
So
so when I die, there's going to be
be on the lookout for his arts because you're gonna definitely get bigger soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. This is so cool.
Yeah, of course. Maybe in the future I'll have you on if we go. If we have Thanksgiving dinner again.
That'd be funny. If you can come down to my garage and we can have the mics there and blow some stuff up.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
All right.
I know. I still need to see it in action.
Yeah, that'd be good. You can tape it.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
Okay. Thanks for watching and listening. Leave a like, leave a good rating. Make sure to go check out Ross on Instagram. Go check out his artwork. Have a nice day.
Peace.